Welcome to Product One's YouTube series. Today we're going to be looking at multi-body design. So all of this is going to be done in Creo 7, and from the last video we had last week, some of you will remember we did allude to the fact that we will be looking at what we call multi-body design. So what is multi-body design? So with Creo 7 now, whenever you're creating a brand new design, you have a body item defined on your model tree. So what that means is if you were to create a feature like an extrusion, you can have obviously the geometry and define the size, the level of symmetry, and so forth. What's interesting enough is, if you look here, is inside here, inside this body, you have body 1. All right, so what that means is this extrude 1 belongs into this body. So let's carry on. So under typical scenarios, you will go on, add more geometry on your design, and let's just make it a lot smaller. And depending on the length of this, you can choose to add or remove material. For this purpose, I'm going to add material. So there's nothing unique about that. But what it means is, inside body 1, you've got these two extrusions. Now, if you look closely, that will simply mean that that geometry is simply joined to the first one, irregardless of where it starts. So, with multi-body design, you've got this option now, where whenever you're creating any geometry, an extrude, in this case, you can say make that a new body. What that means is, it will mean that you now have two bodies here, and that means body 1 has the first extrusion, body 2 has the second extrusion, as you can see there. And if you look at this in terms of wireframe, you can see that those two items are completely disconnected. You do have the power to hide or isolate different bodies in this instance. So what is the significance of this? The significance of this is I can choose to have altering features on one body while omitting the other. I can have mesh properties that are different color, and so forth. So case in point, if I were to create an auto round, I'm now creating an auto round on only the second body item, as it's the one that's active. Of course, I can alternate between the two. So I can also put different appearances. In this instance, I'm going to just choose a body. All right. So the significance of multi-body design is you also have what we call these items here, what we call the body dialog box or tab. So you have items like the Boolean operation, where you can choose one item and select the second, what we call modifying body, and say subtract. What this means is you now have a cutout. This could be an embossing for guys that creating molds and so forth. The benefits are endless. So let's have a look. You can choose to say intersect, whereby you say where all those two items intersect, generate a new unique item there. You can choose to keep the bodies, of course. Even when you're doing a merge, you can say, show me how this is going to look like. This is no different than when you're having two extrudes. This is just to illustrate the difference. So why is this important? So let's take a scenario. Let's say I'm designing one of those containers that you buy off the shelf. So if you can pay closely here is, I have this body here, and I've got an empty body that I've defined previously. I'm going to delete that because I want to create this from scratch. So I'm having body 1 with multiple of extrusions, features, you name it. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to say I'm creating a brand new body, and this is now what I need to do. I'm creating a lid for this. So I'm going to say this is my point of reference. I can choose, of course, the offset distance on these. I'm happy with that. And what I'm going to do here is I'll specify the length of this item. So let's say 35. Of course, I can say add a taper here. In fact, let's go the other way. So this is what I have. So that means that I've got body 1 or the previous body. And it's quite important to witness that there is absolutely no cutout on the second body. So I can say, how about I utilize the Boolean operation and alter this geometry using this. I'm going to say subtract, but I'm going to keep the bodies. And when I come through now, I hide this. This is now the cutout that I have. So now, can you imagine the significance of creating an embossing or a cutout that exact, that you know that there won't be interferences or whatever the case is. So that's the first item. So now that we've got this, I'm going to give this a different or unique color. So let's work out, let's leave it with red for now. All right, so here's what I will do. I will hide this item here and just simply say, how about I hollow out this here, and I'm just going to take out the material in all the relevant places. So what I'm doing is I'm generating a shell for our container. So that means that the wall thickness for our container is going to be 2 millimeters. Remember, this does not actually affect this geometry here because we've already created a cutout. So, however, I can say I'm removing this material, and I can say let's also make it 2 millimeters thick. And just like the previous step, I'll choose all the walls that I want to get rid of. So there's my lid. So the significance of this is I can utilize entities like flexible modeling, whereby I choose to remove certain faces or whatever the case is. So this is what I'm currently having. Of course, I can add rounds, fillets, and chamfers, you name it. Okay? So what this means for this particular exercise is I can now generate a cross-section of those two bodies, and this is what I have. Of course, like I said, you can add fillets, rounds to make this organic. While in the midst of creating this cross-section, I can say, how about I exclude the first body? That means that this is what I'm having here now. Okay, so it allows you to have a look at how these components are going to intersect. You can add hatching and so forth. All right, so now that I'm happy and satisfied with this, I can say, how about I create a brand new part from this body? I can give it a brand new name, and let's call it base or bottom or whatever. Let's call it base for this case. All right. So what that means is I now have a solid component that is driven by the previous multi-body design, which is this one, or rather this one. I can do exactly the same with the second body and say create a component from this, and then let's call this a lid. And that is how I've created two unique components using the multi-body design methodology. And this eliminates the whole confusion between people when they doing things like top-down design with advanced assemblies or whatever, or improper copying of geometry. It eliminates that. So there will be other videos for multi-body design for sheet metal and all of that stuff. But until next time, please don't forget to subscribe, like the video, leave comments at the bottom. Until next time, goodbye.